Hello everyone, I'm Kastor. Welcome back to Kastor's Wrapup, where we delve deeper into the games we finish on stream. We have finished Trails to Azure on PC, and I thought I'd give my impressions of the game. I know I did a quick overview on my live stream when we finished the game back in November 2024, but I wanted to do a deeper dive into the game. What I view as good and bad about the game, and final impressions of the game. We will touch on the story as well. To give an overview of the game, Trails to Azure is part of the Legend of Heroes series, a popular JRPG series developed by Nihon Falcom. For those unfamiliar with Nihon Falcom, they also make the Yi series, Tokyo Xanadu, which we will also play at some stage, and such game franchises. Nihon Falcom are known for very deep stories and lovable characters that can suck out your soul, I mean, your time. If you want to get into these games, be prepared to lose years of your life. They create very long games that have lots of side quests and little mini games as well, as with the previous entry that I played on stream, Trails the Third shows. You are currently watching the Blackjack minigame. Trails to Azure starts around 6 months after the previous game, Trails from Zero. Spoiler alert for those who have not played Trails from Zero yet, skip forward a little. In Trails from Zero, we are introduced to our crew of misfits who are part of the newly made section of the Crossbell Police Force, the Special Support Section. We meet Lloyd Bannings, a newly graduated detective who is returning home after graduation and taking up his first assignment. We then meet Ellie McDowell, a young woman who enlisted and requested to join the SSS. We also meet Randy Orlando, a more larrikin and laid-back character who seems to care about a few things: booze, women, but is very, very capable as a fighter. Finally, we meet Tio Plato, a young girl who possesses some crazy cybernetic powers. Trails to Azure takes place 6 months after the events of Trails from Zero, where we find out that a certain cult, known as the D therefore G cult, long thought dead, had started a resurgence. The SSS, with the help of the Bracer Guild in Crossbell, put an end to the cult's leader and started checking old hideouts for cult members that are still active. For those of you who are planning to play Azure, please stop watching here, as there will be minor or major spoilers for the game. We got to meet Sergeant Major Noel Seeker, who we met last game, and she is now part of the SSS, along with Wazi Hemisphere, the leader of the Testaments. We also met him in the last game. Seems that he was requested to join the SSS. Apart from that, we do catch up with Kia, a mysterious girl that we found in the previous game in a case. Why was she in a case? Who knows? However, we do see that they are all bonded together. We meet some new and recurring characters as well, from Dieter Croy to his daughter Mariabelle, and even Arios and Shizuku McLean. If you enjoyed Trails to Zero and remember all the characters, you'll meet them again, along with some new characters, or characters from other Trails games as well, especially if you have played the Sky series. So let's talk about the game. As with the last game, Odalis, let's start with the good. I'm going to avoid story spoilers where I can so that you guys can experience it yourselves. The story is very strong. There was an unreal twist in the tale and parts where you felt shock and betrayal of all you have come to know. Just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, the game slaps you in the face and tells you this is the new level of crazy. It is absolutely worth playing through both games again to see if you can pick up the extremely subtle hints of what comes in the second game. The chests have the secret check again and get a gag bit. These sorts of things always give me something to smile about. However, for some weird reason, they also included a soap opera in 61 parts in the chest gags, and I'll talk a little about this in the bad section. Very early on in the game, you get a car. The car speeds up transportation so much. It makes it so much easier for you to run around and do stuff in the game and not have to waste time legging it back and forth between various places and various bus stops. No surprise for a game like this, but there is CGI in this game, and it is very nicely animated. I haven't really watched too much anime recently, especially since I prefer manga, but the CGI in the games is really nice and great quality. The voice acting is also very nice, and it really allows for you to get the feel of the character. I also feel that the people they used for doing the voice acting is spot on, and it feels exactly like how I imagine the character would sound. Speaking to the gameplay, I'm happy to see that you are able to skip the animations for using S-break skills. This saves so much time, as when you have seen the animation once, you've seen it all the time. Burst mode is a very nice addition, causing you to pay attention to what you are doing and what is on your screen. Burst mode and the background for it makes the game feel fast-paced and that feeling of not having a lot of time to get things done. That's all for the good. Now what about the bad? Remember how I mentioned earlier about there being a soap opera in 61 parts? It would be nice if they actually put the whole lot in a spot where you can read the entire story from start to finish. It's a bit disjointed when you open a chest and get part 22 out of 61 and then go, hang on, what was that again? What happened last time? I can't remember. Sometimes you need to grind for Sepith, which is kind of annoying. But once you get to New Game Plus mode, the Sepith issue isn't so bad. It is frustrating, but they have made it slightly easier with glints on the ground that can give you random objects like Sepith or bait or items. Very useful. Now, some boss fights are absolute bollocks, but for some saving grace, this is few and far between. It's just difficulty more than anything, and it feels like it's difficult for no reason whatsoever. Some boss fights also don't matter, so why do I have to waste resources on the boss fight? It's mainly for the completionists and those who want 100% perfection, but even then some of them are absolutely tedious or frustrating. Speaking of sequences, some sequences do drag on a lot. You can't really skip them except using high speed mode. These are parts where they also include CGI, and it's frustrating because you can't skip the CGI scenes, and because I stream at night and I work during the week, it makes it very hard when you've only got 10 minutes to go and they give you a 45-minute cutscene on an entire expose to close off a chapter. And I've had that happen a few times where I couldn't leave the game, or if I did, I had to hard close it and start again from the very start, either at the start of that particular scene or at the start of the boss fight, which is even worse. It would be nice to be able to skip that if you are running out of time, and then be able to go back, and especially if there's a boss fight leading into these final scenes, it would be nice to put a save point right after the boss fight so that that can all be done at your own leisure. Unless you use a guide, you wouldn't know about the extra DP you can get. This is a mini gripe, but it's really not dead obvious unless you have played some Falcom games and know where to get all your DP. Some of the DP is also very luck based due to what you need to do to max out your DP. Finally, burst mode can be overpowered, but I am not complaining about that. I thoroughly enjoyed burst mode, even if I ended up running through bosses with it. Overall, on how long to beat, I gave it a 90%. I really enjoyed the game. I think the story is so solid, and it really blends itself into the rest of the universe quite well. It took me just over 62 hours to finish Trails to Azure. I started the game on the 15th of June 2024, and I finished it on the 16th of November 2024. This game is for gamers who have a lot of time up their sleeves. If you are looking for a story that can suck you in deeply, start with 0 and work through this. In fact, you can even go back and start with Trails in the Sky First Class, way back in that one as your first game, and work your way through the Trails in the Sky series, then work your way through this. It will give you a lot of time to play through all the games. Between both 0 and Azure, you will have around 110 hours of gameplay that will tell you a story that makes Death Note look like Naruto in terms of how twisted the story gets. It's a very good story, and one that will keep you guessing until the very end. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment on what you think of the game or this video. If you want to watch the full playthrough, as there are a lot of videos for this, please find a link to a spreadsheet where all YouTube links can be found I'll put this in the description, and please check the description as well for stream times if you want to catch any of my gaming live. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for the next wrap up.